This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Savaged Unfiltered.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again.
More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
Savaged Unfiltered.
Not only should we not be supporting them, but we gave $30 billion. Did you know we gave $30 billion this weekend?
Your host, Michael Gardner. Like a Hellcat.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to the show.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Enough of the powered by the Riverside FM crap, Shaky. We only get it once, not twice. God damn it. Anyway, I didn't mean to say God. I got excited. I don't swear like that. But anyway, guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to Savage Unfiltered. I'm your host, the handsome man here in the digital platform of iHeart and Spotify and wherever the hell you're viewing us at today. Hell, I don't know. You might be viewing us in a cave somewhere in Iraq or Pakistan. Well, if you are, make sure you watch around your surroundings. I don't want to. That sounded terrible. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show, guys. I got to get some announcements here before I bring my partner in crime here, Soslin, because Soslin's got some stories to share on this show, as he always. Guys. Oh boy, what a wild week we had this week, right? We had Layla London, the OnlyFans model, and
I'm worried about what I look like. You know, when I record at home, I sit down in my office.
Very, very X-rated, very maturely rated, very ooh, I want some more rated. And we are going to get some ooh, I want some more rated of content from Layla, because we are inviting her back for part 2, folks. That's right. Part 2 with Layla London, the girl next door, and also the host of the Curious Girl Diaries. That's right. I'm going to bring her back like no tomorrow. And I promise you guys, if you liked what you heard on part 1, part 2 is going to be fucking dynamite. Ow. Dynamite with a D. You get what I mean, right? But guys, also too, I also want to thank also Joseph M. Leonard for coming on the show here, expressing his next book, How to Write a Book and Get It Published. That was published here earlier this week here on Spotify and iHeart. So thank you very much to Joseph M. Leonard that joins us on Monday and Wednesdays for our pre-recorded episodes here. Thank you very much, Joseph. And I also want to thank Joseph for putting up with that nut job fucking liberal we had on the damn show.
I want to get Susan. Yeah, Joseph carrying my show. Thank you, Joseph. But I appreciate it, buddy. Anyway, Suzanne, what's your thoughts on Trump running in 2024?
I think it's going to be good for my show.
Well,
I enjoy that.
Just as Biden is good for Savage Unfiltered.
Yeah, it works both ways. But
I think that, to be honest, I think that what happened with a lot of what he did, but especially what happened with January 6th disqualifies him. And
so you're against democracy. You don't want the people to be able. The left always talks about democracy, but in this case, no, you can't choose him.
You're not talking about democracy.
What about when the Democrats literally blew up the congressional building?
Here, little Looney Tune. Here's little Looney Tune.
That had nothing to do with Trump.
Kill people and hang them and smeared their fecal matter all over the. I don't know what that had to do with our First Amendment right, but anyway, we're talking about an insurrection. We're not talking about democracy.
But Suzanne, there was no record.
The Charlottesville lie all over again. The Charlottesville lie. It's all spin. It's all conjecture. Yeah.
There was no.
What about when the left literally bombed the Capitol? You know, Bill Ayers, the friends of the Bidens.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Obama literally helped bomb the Capitol. That was a real insurrection.
So your argument is because somebody did something, I'm allowed to do something. That's what you're saying. So you're conceding
no,
it was an insurrection.
I am not conceding it was an insurrection at all. It was not.
Get off my show. I'm done talking to you. I'm trying to ask you questions, and you're that crazy woman.
I highly suggest you listen to that show because Joseph literally tore this woman a you-know-what and buried the damn woman. There's one thing about liberals, all right? Hey, we got to put up with them. But the next thing about them is that they spew the actual garbage on a conservative platform such as myself. I'm an American. I'm not, somebody that says, death to America and I shit on the American flag. I actually love my country. And when this woman comes out with this stupid nonsense, she was talking about some stupid crap about the Keystone Pipeline. Oh, let me save that here. I got to get Sauce's thought on that. But without further ado, Sauce, buddy, welcome to the show. Sorry I had you on mute, man. But, buddy, thank you very much.
You are absolutely good. Welcome. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you, man, on another episode of Savage Unfiltered. Sauce, obviously you heard here in the green room, man, with this liberal that Joseph and I were talking. I wish I had you on, man, but I know that you've been busy, man, with your show, The Sauce Report. The way I'm talking about it right now on the show, what do you think of liberals alone?
They're very disconnected. I mean, by far, like stating that when they're so out of reality, they don't even want to look at what's happening in our nation, and that they're more worried about beefing up other people's borders. And when President Zelensky comes to America and gives a kiss as Nancy Pelosi on the lips and says, "Oh, just give me more money," and what do the Democrats do? "Oh yeah, we're going to give you $80 billion. I mean, the Democrats are more worried about beefing up border security against this Russian aggression and against other countries that hate our guts. They're more worried about beefing up their borders while they refuse to look at the problems in America and how our country's being invaded. And it's not just the Democrats, it's also your Republicans, your so-called rhinos. They are putting America last, and they're making the American people pay for their idiocy. And it's just absolutely appalling and disgusting.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with you, Sauce. But here's the thing, man. She got into the Keystone Pipeline, and she was like, "What did I say? Oh yeah, I forgot what I said that for a minute." I was like, "Well, what do you think of the Keystone Pipeline being closed?" And she's like, "I'm all for it. It was spilling and leaking oil out." And then Joseph was like, "Well, what about the trains? What about trains transporting oil? You don't think that leaks?" And as soon as Joseph said it, we heard this crickets from her. Like she couldn't answer the damn question, man.
Yeah, or what do you? Well, and another thing that you also have to look at is, what do you think about? Well, we actually still using the Keystone Pipeline hypothetically, but all we're doing is that we're shipping our oil through oil containers and through trains, but it's still coming from Canada, and it's like a waste of all we did was just kill jobs. That was the problem.
Well, we're using the XL, Sauce. We're not using the main Keystone, though.
No, yeah. And it's sad because that they care about making, they really are a very self-centered and arrogant party. And it's become a fascist party. Like I keep on telling my listeners, and I keep on stating that, this country is becoming a disgraced nation to live in. Even as an immigrant that has immigrated to this country, the fact that we are more worried about making sure that we bring in terrorists and we give money to the drug cartels, and we're going to leave our veterans on the street to die, that is a major problem. For instance, last night in Madison, Wisconsin, we had three homeless veterans that died because they couldn't find shelter. but they gave shelter to the illegal immigrants that were bussed in a couple days before at a Hilton in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They gave them a brand new hotel room, and they didn't bother keeping the veterans. They didn't bother having the veterans inside the hotel room. They didn't bother.
They shit on the veterans, Sauce.
Savaged, unfiltered.
Well, I should agree to that, but I do 100% agree with that. And how sad is that? You know, and I interviewed a very young man yesterday in my podcast. You're welcome to check it out. He's from Wisconsin, and he's running for the school board of Hartford. And he's stating that he's seen that problem in his district. He's stating that, you know what, you have the Democrats now being taken over in the school districts, and he talked about how he went protested, and that the school board told him to remove the flags, and it was absolute disgrace. You know, and he's like, I'm a young individual, and we're losing this country before we know it, and it's because the Democrats have become out of touch, and all these schools are being taught. And he was talking about how the schools are the forefront of this woke agenda. And he talked about it, stating that, you know what, I thought there'd be more counteracting against the masks, just like how the younger generation was against Vietnam.
This is wrong. This damages America. This weakens America. This makes us look foolish.
It seems like the younger kids are being brainwashed into thinking that masks are okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sauce. Yeah, I agree with you. But here's the thing, man. We were talking about something with her about the differences between millionaires and billionaires. You know, the phrase that Bernie Sanders there, the leftist goon, millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah.
You know, she couldn't even answer the damn question. I was like, so answer my question, please, Suzanne. Okay. Why do you hate millionaires and billionaires? And she's like, well, because they have the upper hand than I have. I was like, so if you were a millionaire or a billionaire, would you feel the same way that you feel now? And then again, crickets, no answer. And then we go into another question, and we ask her this question. So how do you feel about fact checking? And she says, I think that fact checking should be allowed on social media. I said, so you're against Elon Musk standing up for freedom of speech? She says, no, I'm for freedom of speech, but I'm against fact. No, she says, I'm for freedom of speech. I'm trying to remember what the hell this crazy lady said. I'm for freedom of speech, but I'm also for fact checking. I was like, well, if you're for freedom of speech, then you're against freedom of speech because you're for fact checking. So if I post something on Facebook, whether you agree or not, you're basically attacking my freedom of speech to say that on social media. And she's like, well, that's different because it's social media and it's a private company. I said, okay. So you're saying that if I'm at a private company or a public company, I'm not allowed to say that in that company? What if I was in Walmart and I said to you, I don't believe that you should be wearing that black dress? Are you going to fact check me and say that I'm wrong because we're in Walmart, because it's a private company? You know what I mean, Sauce?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a continuation with that whole. Well, it's like, I look at TikTok though. I mean, I posted something about President Zelensky, and I posted a meme from Babylon Bee. And here's how TikTok doesn't like Babylon Bee. Okay. Well, I posted something. I posted stating that so Babylon Bee says the real president when you know the real president is in town. And that was referring to President Zelensky when President Zelensky was showing Joe Biden around the house and helping him along the White House and stuff. And that Babylon Bee just joked about it. That's pretty sad when you have Babylon Bee making fun of Joe Biden. But I mean, it's true. I mean, the Democrats rather be controlled by anti-Americans and the so-called proxy war. And at the same time, we're going to put America last and we're going to make America suffer. And this is part of it.
Babylon Bee has always been known for that, though, Sauce. You know?
But they are funny, though. You do have to admit.
Yeah, although they're funny. Yeah, Joseph posts a lot of posting and stuff on Babylon Bee.
Yeah,
and I mean he's part of Babylon Bee up there in Detroit. It's hilarious.
And here's the thing. Here's how disconnected the Democrats are. Okay, So Newsmax came out stating that the Republicans slammed Zelensky for saying United States $50 billion aid in this anonymous bill isn't enough. So what does Biden do today? He signs a declaration of sending over $85 billion to Ukraine on top of the $50 billion that's inside the anonymous bill. That is $130 billion that is Ukraine getting just from this. It's like a Christmas gift. And we're not auditing the funds that are going to Ukraine. We're not auditing. I mean, and it's like the Democrats are saying, it's okay. Like, look at the media. Oh, yeah, the Democrats are saying, it's okay. They need it more than we do. No, I mean, I'm getting outraged. It's like disgusting. I mean, why are we giving more money to, like, we just gave $171 billion to Ukraine last week through military aid. Now, what's next? You know what? We might as well just have Zelensky. You know what? You are now the president of the United States. You know what? We're no longer a free country anymore. We're part of Ukraine. And that's it. Because clearly that's what it's looking like, because Ukraine owns us pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I seen that damn thing with Zelensky yesterday.
Kissing the lips on Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, yeah. I was about to get there. Sash reading me like paper here. Did you see that, Sas? Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, that was disgusting. He gave Nancy Pelosi a flag, and then he grabbed Nancy Pelosi, and I'm like, why would you kiss her on the lips? I mean, you kiss your mom like that, or what?
Baby, let's get it on.
And it's
Did
like,
he kiss her on the lips? It looked like he kissed her on the cheeks, Sas.
No, he grabbed her face and stuff, and he grabbed her face, like, not grabbed her face, but it looked like he was, pretty much, I thought he did kiss her on the lips. It looked like, from my angle, when I watched it and I turned it and stuff, because it looked a little bit longer, the kiss was a little bit longer. But, I mean, you look at it, all right, and it just, it's like, it's disgusting. And it's like you go inside a chamber of Congress, all right, and you beg on your hands and knees and say, oh, you know what, and saying that your moral value, Zelensky stating that, you know what, you have to give up some of your moral values so you can help us in this Russian aggression. Oh, and that, you know, it's important that America keeps funding Ukraine, and that, you know what, winning this war is the ultimate goal. Well, why? If you, and now that by giving Patriot missiles over to Ukraine, you know what? If you're really, Ukraine is getting us involved in is World War III. The government can just go in here and control and tell us what to do and what not to do. I thought we are the land of the free. I thought we stand our own 2 feet. You know, I thought we are better than this, but I guess not. You know, when you steal an election, I guess you can do whatever you want. And when you don't stand for freedom, you can do whatever your heart desires. If you want, at this point, all presidents, I swear that President Zelensky, I swear all he cares about is destroying this country and is destroying our taxpayers. While he gets to go back to his rich country and so-called dresses up in a war zone and says, oh, well, we got to pretend that we're in a war, but then and then sits at the table, and you got to see what Vladimir Putin doing. You got to see what he's sitting in the background. He's like thinking, oh, is America the dumbest country that has ever existed? We truly are the dumbest country for allowing an illegitimate president to come in and tell Congress what to do and what not to do. Well, have you ever heard of balance of powers, you dumbwagon? No. I mean, and a lot of people don't know what President Zelensky is doing. Look at what also President Zelensky is doing in Ukraine as well. He is going after pastors. He's going after churches in Ukraine. He's going after Bibles. You know, there's a mandate. There's a mandate going after Judeo-Christian Bibles in Ukraine. Now, you tell me that's a problem, isn't it? Because if you really,
it is a problem, Sas.
And he's arresting Christians, and he's arresting anyone that speaks out against Russia. He's speaking out against anyone. So, I mean, if you want to care about Nazism, that is the finest of us all. And that, you know what, and that his people, if you look at the marks of the vehicle, they're truly Nazis. You know, the Ukrainian military are controlled by the Nazi.
As a label, alongside with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and then the cackling witch behind her, Kamala Harris, with her laugh, and then she does a smile, like, you know, like, oh, that's so nice. He's got the flag with the autographs on it. I mean, that's disrespectful. And then to wave the flag. I mean, I have nothing against Ukrainians, folks. I really don't. The only ones I have things against with are ones that actually shit and spit on this country. That's what I do. And I think by doing that and kind of drapering that flag over, did you see what they did, Sus? They drapered the damn flag over the presidential seal.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the Ukrainian citizens. I don't have a problem with it. The problem I have is the government, the Ukrainian government. That's the biggest problem I have. That is the huge problem that I have, and how the Ukrainian government can just go in here and control and tell us what to do and what not to do. I thought we are the land of the free. I thought we stand our own 2 feet. I thought we are better than this, but I guess not. When you steal an election, I guess you can do whatever you want. And when you don't stand for freedom, you can do whatever your heart desires. If you want, at this point, all presidents, I swear that President Zelensky, I swear all he cares about is destroying this country and is destroying our taxpayers. While he gets to go back to his rich country and so-called dresses up in a war zone and says, oh, well, we got to pretend that we're in a war, but then and then sits at the table, and you guys see what Vladimir Putin doing. You guys see what he's sitting in the background. He's like thinking, "Oh, is America the dumbest country that has ever existed?" We truly are the dumbest country for allowing an illegitimate president to come in and tell Congress what to do and what not to do. Well, have you ever heard of balance of powers, you dumbwagon? No. I mean, and a lot of people don't know what President Zelensky is doing. Look at what also President Zelensky is doing in Ukraine as well. He is going after pastors. He's going after churches in Ukraine. He's going after Bibles. There's a mandate. There's a mandate going after Judeo-Christian Bibles in Ukraine. Now, you tell me that's a problem, isn't it? Because if you really,
it is a problem, Sas.
And he's arresting Christians. Yeah. And he's arresting anyone that speaks out against Russia. He's speaking out against anyone. So, I mean, if you want to care about Nazism, that is the finest that is all. And that, you know what? And that his people, if you look at the marks of the vehicle, they're truly Nazis. The Ukrainian military are controlled by the Nazi party. And that's the party that we're the true Nazi countries in. We are then influencing their bad behavior. We're then influencing, saying, you know what? It's okay that people don't have religious freedoms. It's okay that we go after pastors. It's okay that we go after churches and burn them down. That is a major problem. And
yeah, it is a major problem, Sas. I couldn't agree with you more, man.
I mean, I'm just sick.
So...
What are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on President Zelensky going after Ukraine, or going after churches in Ukraine and going after pastors and arresting Christians?
Well, you mentioned the taxpayer thing, and you mentioned everything else kind of linked to that. I can tell you the main focus. First and foremost, guys, before I go there, I want to allow the listeners to know that this is a syndicated recording here, so feel free if you want to call into the show and ask Sas or I, some questions. Love to take some answers from the callers here on Savage Unfiltered. But guys, listen here. This is what I was saying. The real reason, Sas, do you know the real reason why Zelensky was there just the other day in the White House? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Anyway. Yeah, I hear you good here. Well, first and foremost here, before I ask that question, I want to get this caller here that came in here. Kat, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hello, Kat.
Doing fine.
Hello.
Doing fine. Kat, I got a question here. Obviously, if you're not aware of the show, we are a political show. We sometimes kind of talk and comment on political stuff going on in the show. What's your thoughts with the whole Zelensky thing going on, at the White House? I don't know how you feel about that, but, Sas and I are fueled up by that right now.
So you'll have to fill me in a little bit, because I've stayed off the news channels lately because it's been a whirlwind of bullshit, in my personal opinion. So I tend not to follow as much with what's going on with the White House. I've not been impressed lately at all with any of that. So...
well, I love the demeanor, by the way, Kat, and, feel free, use your persona. This is Savage Unfiltered. We are an unfiltered, unscripted show. So if you want to say fuck, shit, bitch, whatever, show your American patriotic pride, But I agree with you. What we're talking about, Kat, is basically Sassanai here, which is the co-host here on Savage Unfiltered. We're talking about Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, at the White House just the other day with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and the cackling witch herself, Kamala Harris. Presenting, now get this, Kat, presenting the Ukrainian flag by leadership from the country of Ukraine, drapered down over the presidential seal in the White House.
Wow.
I thought that was disgraceful, if you ask me.
Definitely a bold move, especially for what's kind of going on. But at the same time, in my personal opinion, doesn't help that we don't necessarily have a strong stance with who's in the seat at the moment to shut that shit down. So,
well, Kat, isn't that a problem though?
I agree with you more.
But Kat, don't you see also another problem with, because I don't know if you heard what I was kind of saying with the whole President Zelensky stuff. I really think that there's major issues going on with the whole President Zelensky stuff, because this whole, like, him stating, well, the $50 billion isn't enough. So what does Joe Biden do? He signs an emergency act to give President Zelensky another $45 billion on top of the $50 billion that they're getting through this anonymous bill. And it's like, and now actually I'm reading through the whole, like, I'm actually reading through the bill right now. That's 4,155 pages long. And it literally reads this. So with the Ukrainian defense package, we're giving $171 billion to Ukrainian military through and the increase of salaries. And that's what we're giving another $172 billion. Sorry about that. $172.7 billion for the Ukrainian defense military. That is through this anonymous bill on top of the $60 billion, $50 billion for AIDS, and then on top of $45 billion that Biden also signed today. That is like cash flowing out of the who knows where, and President Zelensky saying, well, that's not enough. Well, what do you want, President Zelensky? You might as well, President Zelensky, you might as well just build a White House in America, and you might as well just live here, because clearly you are an arrogant SOB.
I don't know if it's just arrogance or it's the simple fact that I feel like a lot of people are pushing the buttons on the president, because again, we don't necessarily have a strong leader. Dear God, he has a hard time getting his words correct when he's having conversations. So it makes total sense for other countries to kind of push to see what they can get away with, because we don't stand for what we used to anymore.
No. And as an immigrant myself, I find that to be a slap in the face. As an immigrant that fled this communism, as an immigrant that fled communism and now is fighting for freedom again. And a lot of people think that, this country's still free and that communism is not, like, communism is almost here and stuff. No, you know what? Communism is not almost here. It is here. And it is in our White House. And it is influenced by China, in Ukraine, Iran, North Korea. It has influenced it. Because the moment that you give $1.7 billion to North Korea and you give $225 million to the Russian ballistic air system, then you know what? We're literally fueling our enemies. And then we have another country that comes in and bowls right on in and say, well, since you gave Russia $39 billion through this defense bill, then we should get more than they should. I mean, it just blows my mind. And another thing is, okay, in September, there was a Department of Defense conference. And here's
you're full of fire, buddy, but go ahead, buddy.
I am. So, Kat, here's how disgusting this is. Okay. In the Department of Defense conference in September, I asked the question, I'm like, why are we giving money to Russia? Why are we giving $60 billion to Russia? And they're like, well, because under the Biden administration, we have depleted our nuclear system, our nuclear arsenal system. So we have to give Russia to get more nuclear weapons from them. So we're giving them $60 billion within a 5-year span so we can restock our nuclear system.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I had to cut in there. But before Kat answers that, what was Bernie Sanders' comment on that? That's the man that says, millionaires and billionaires. We got to tackle the millionaires and billionaires. So,
he shouldn't be tackling
obviously,
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
He shouldn't be tackling that at all, because his net worth is $36 billion. He should not be talking whatsoever about being a billionaire, because he came in, he lived off the government, and he got in office, and he's now made millions and billions of dollars. His average net worth, his average income per year is at least creeping up on $1.8 billion. He is a grotesque man. And he
But
tells
Sauce, what
us-
about Bernie? Bernie, millionaire. What about the millionaire, Sauce? What about the millionaire? Billionaire, the Wall Street billionaire. We got to tackle the billionaire.
He shouldn't be talking about the billionaires. He shouldn't be. That's what Joseph Stalin said to fool the public.
But Sauce, we got to take care of the billionaires. You're being a hypocrite.
Yeah, we got to make sure the billionaires are. We got to make sure the billionaires are fat. We got to make sure that they are can go to Florida and retire. What are your thoughts, Kat, on everything I said? I'm sorry, I'm getting fired up.
Well, one, I love it. And I love that you're an immigrant coming from a different perspective as well, because I feel like as Americans, we kind of get stuck on all of our shit that's going on. And then we have all these people that whine about absolutely everything, whether it's, what you posted or whatever the case may be. But I love to hear from people that have been through some shit and then are the ones that are wanting to fight harder than our own people to an extent, right? I think that we've given away way too much shit, though. Across the board since he's been in presidency. That's, again, my opinion. That's one of the reasons why I don't follow the news as much, because I know that I can't make a difference.
Unfiltered.
Just by myself.
Yes, you can.
And bitching about it.
Don't.
Constantly, it frustrates me so much watching it repetitively. And I feel like our news doesn't ever give us the correct fucking information anyway. We hear like a quarter of the story, whatever they want us to hear. And then we have to go everywhere else to dig for the actual information, or hell, go to like the BBC in order to get the shit that's actually going on in our country, because the networks don't actually tell you. They only tell you what they want you to hear, because we've created a society where we can piss people off and get them ramped up so they won't pay attention to something else that's going off on the side.
Well, Kat, I just want to tell you, Kat, I want to tell you, you can make it.
Hold on, Sauce. I gotta answer. Yeah, without a doubt. 1 second, Sauce.
Sorry.
Hey, Kat, you sound like you're from the South, and I can hear it in your voice. Would you consider yourself a conservative or a liberal?
Oh God.
I mean, that's an easy question, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Conservative, I guess. Definitely not a liberal.
You do sound like a conservative. I know you're not a political. Yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't follow the political specter like Sauce and I and everything. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years, and you seem like you're a lot younger than me, but you do resemble that conservative base, and I love it. And I don't know where you're calling from, but I think we need more of that from you. Are you a college student, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, well, that's so sweet of you. No, I am I am 35. I'm a mother of 2 teenage boys.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So being a mother of 2 teenage boys, how do you favor the education system in this country?
Oh, Lord. It's unfortunate because I was born in Florida. I'm in Tennessee, so I am from the South. And I've had the ability to meet a lot of people in different areas. And what I have learned that, one, our education system is really kind of whack, but it also depends on where you come from, depends on what you were taught and how you are taught it, which is really interesting to me. So I've noticed and kind of figured out that like more people that are in the South, we talk about the slavery and the issues of that. We're up north, it's not really a thing, right? There's certain wars and stuff that we focus on. So it's really interesting since I've been around enough people to ask questions. I love to pick people's brains to realize that it's not as unified as you would think it would be across the board. It literally depends on where you are at, which to me is a huge problem, because if you have areas where there's a lot of poverty, what are those children actually getting? What are they actually learning? And is that the reason why we continue to have poverty issues and people don't strive and succeed, is because of what they're taught or not taught when they're in school?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last question here, because I want to thank you for calling into the show, and I also want to ask this question here for you. There is a huge trending presence across social media right now with this Twitter, right? Sas and I, we're going to get into the Twitter here in a moment, but I want to get your thought here before you depart here from the show. Now that Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, right, and made it more conservative, more open forum, and favors free speech, do you think that was a bold move for Musk making Twitter more of a free speech platform?
I do. So I have a really hard time with Musk. Like, I want to hate the guy, but at the same time, I have to give him credit for the shit that he's done and the buttons that he's pushed, because we don't have enough people like that. So I love to see someone with that ability. But I do. I think it was kind of interesting to watch him take over Twitter and see how many people lost their shit when it happened. But I'm interested to see what ends up becoming of it and how he does end up regulating it and allowing people to be more open, because I do feel like Twitter, Facebook, and things like that have such a hold on what we see, what we view, what comments we're allowed to make, right? It's so strict.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That I'm all for it. I am all for it. I understand that we're going to run into an issue of people that just like to run their mouth.
I mean, and this is, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there's a poll right now polling at 58%. Sas and I were just talking about this on air the other day on the show. 58% want this fucking guy pulled from Twitter because, you know, the liberal fact checkers there in Silicon San Francisco, I call it, they can't control Twitter anymore. They can't eat their hot pockets and have their control and say, you're saying something that affects my feelings. I mean, Kat, I hope there's no children around, but I mean, listen, fucking grow a set and move on with your life. Stop fucking, saying, oh, well, I don't agree with you, so you're going to hurt my little snowflake heart.
Yeah.
Grow up and move on. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I feel about it.
No, I definitely agree with that. It's an issue that I ran into when my kids were, well, my oldest one was in school. He just graduated, because there's such this society where our teachers can't even do anything, because God forbid that they actually have an authority and then somebody's parents would lose their shit. I had an issue with my son standing up for himself. And which is something that I taught him. I was like, don't ever start shit, but if someone starts shit with you and they swing back. And so we ran into that issue because it's not something that's not that you should be teaching everybody to fight, but that was a thing for me that I had to go through with my kids, because not even the teachers are allowed to have a say so. They just put their head down, and we wonder why we have such a society right now that we're raising that is just bitches, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You labeled it right. You got any comments here before Kat leaves the show?
So, number one, Kat, I give you kudos and props where it's due. You are an awesome mom. And I can see, I think you've raised your kids absolutely right. Number two, I think it's important that, we have your kids that look up to you. And it's important that you teach your kids to stand up and stand strong, because the easiest way you can be part of it is by complying by saying no to things, no to the vaccine, no to mask wearing. And it's just those small, tiny things where people can pick up on, because that's one way I started finding out, thinking, okay, you know what? I can't make an impact, but you know what? I can. Once I heard somebody tell me, just say no. I started saying no to the mask, and I didn't bring my mask anywhere. And if somebody threw a fit about it, I just said I have CS. And they would ask what CS is. And I said, well, are you my doctor? And they said, no. And I'm like, well, don't ask me what is CS, because that's HIPAA violation. Well, CS is common sense. That's why I have it.
Love it.
And another thing is that because it's important that we teach our kids, and it's important that we continue educating our kids to understand what this country was founded on, because it's being all distorted with all this saying that whiteness is bad to have, and white men are awful, and we're this country's a shame to live in. At the end of the day, it is still the best country to live in. While we have our sickness and while we have the depravity and sin that's ravaging this world.
Hey, Sas.
So sorry about that. I'm getting all biblical, but I give you props.
Hey, no, you're fine, Sas. You got to remember, she's calling in, Sas. She's not a guest, but it's okay.
Sorry.
You got to bear with Sas. Sas is not part of this. Well, he's part of this country, but he's from Russia, so
he's very passionate. I love it.
Well, Well, Kat, you're welcome to follow me on. You're welcome to follow my podcast called The Sauce Report, because you'll hear more passion. You'll hear a different perspective as a young conservative. Because I'm only 24.
Okay.
And you're welcome to hear The Sauce Report and follow me on
he's
Twitter.
a young man.
Yeah, I'm a young bird, and Michael's even younger than I am, and he is above 18 though.
I'm not young. 40 years old. Sauce, paint me out. God. Anyway, Kat, I want to thank you for being part of Savage Unfiltered. I know it was brave for you to come on the show. We are a huge podcast here across iHeartRadio, broadcasting live on iHeart. Going to be formatted onto Spotify and other platforms. I also want to thank you for coming on to Riverside FM, which is affiliated with Spotify as well. Kat, Merry Christmas, and thanks for coming on. I can't say more than enough.
Thank you guys so much.
All righty. Take it easy. So, Soslin, that was awesome. We had a live caller in, man. What'd you think about that, buddy?
So before we wrap things up, I have to tell you that I'm officially verified on
I didn't
Twitter.
even know who the hell she was. Shaky told me last minute. Yeah, hold on, Sauce. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, Shaky told it was a last minute thing, and Shaky told you like the last minute stuff.
Yeah.
I thought she was like your ex-girlfriend.
No, it's some stranger I didn't even know. He's like, we got a caller coming in. I was like, really? No shit. Plug her in. All right. So, yeah, you could do caller features here on this platform. I'll teach you if you want to come across. But yeah. Good stuff. You might have anybody. You might have a bum coming out of the sewers coming on the show.
Or we might have that veteran guy that just came on.
You're talking about Twitter, man. Go ahead.
So I have great news about Twitter.
The Ritalin guy?
You know that guy that faked to be a veteran and thought he was in the army and he was riding his bicycle for the veterans. And
I thought you said Ritalin guy, but
no. So I have great news for this, like for your listeners and stuff. I have officially been verified on Twitter.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
How the hell did you come up with that, Sauce?
Well, I'm surprised. Have you applied for verification?
I have not yet.
No.
How much is the damn thing?
Well, I think it's $11 a month. Yeah.
$11 a month. Okay.
Yeah, $11 a month.
Not too bad. Maybe I'll think about it, Sauce. I don't know.
Well, there's some criteria you have to reach, though. You have to be maintaining a presence. Like you have to be an active member of Twitter, and you have to have like, for instance, like the Sauce Report. It helps that post like things off of the Twitter and stuff, and then they actually go under your review and they review your episodes and they review your things. And if they find that you've been active, and very, like you've been very passionate and stuff, or not passionate, but they find that you've been active and you've been interactive and stuff, then you get to the blue check mark.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll think about it. I don't know, but if I do it, it's gonna make me look like I'm an actual celebrity, right? Which I am. I'm a
you are. Well,
here on the radio,
both you and I are both celebrities, aren't we?
Yeah.
Aren't we? So, alrighty.
Yeah, well, I've been with the industry for 20 years, Sauce, but yeah.
I hope so. So, alrighty. Well, I have to ramp things up because I have to go out shoveling out in the winter tundra. So, have to shovel some people out.
Man. Well, good luck with that. Don't get attacked by any bears, Sauce.
No, I won't. So I won't get frostbite either. It's supposed to be minus 51, by the way.
Good grief.
Yeah. Alrighty. Peace out.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here in a little bit here with Sauce. Thanks a lot,
All right.
Sauce. Take it easy, buddy. Alrighty, guys. Well, you just heard a really rather interesting show. Also to talk about politics with Sauce. It's always fascinating. Guys, if you want to reach out to Sauce and you want to hear more about his show, I highly suggest you check him out. The Sauce Report. He's available on iHeart, Spotify, all over. And leave him 5 stars. He's a young man. He needs it, guys. And I want to thank our listener that tuned in, that called in today. Kat. Sounds like a lovely lady calling out of Tennessee. Thank you very much, man. It was awesome. It's great to meet people here on this show. It really is, guys. It's awesome to see what America has. I mean, because, you know, you have just about everybody. Look, guys, I'm out of words. I really am. I really hope that this Mustang, you know, doesn't get blown apart. I mean, I'm sure media's going to rip it apart, without a doubt. And I hope everyone wasn't that upset by the whole Ukraine thing that happened yesterday at the White House, which I thought was a disgrace. Drapering the Ukrainian flag over the American presidential seal. That's a disgrace, guys. That's fucked up. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us here on Savage Unfiltered. I am your host, as always, every day, 365 days a year, Michael Gardner. I'm joined by co-host today, Sasha Stevenson. Happy holidays, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa, however you say it. I'm out of here. Later.